This is the president talking about the Ebola outbreak, and
The American people are concerned about the possibility of Ebola outbreak, and Ebola is a very serious disease. And the ability of people who are infected to carry that across borders is something that we have to take extremely seriously. At the same time, it is important for Americans to know the facts. And that is that because of the measures that we've put in place, as well as our world-class health system, and the nature of the Ebola virus itself, which is difficult to transmit, the chances of an Ebola outbreak in the United States is extremely low. Procedures are now in place to rapidly evaluate anybody who might be showing symptoms. We saw that with the response of the airplane in Newark, and how several hospitals across the United States have been testing for possible cases. In recent months, we've had thousands of travelers arriving here from West Africa, and so far only one case of Ebola has been diagnosed in the United States, and that's the patient in Dallas. Our prayers are obviously with him and his family. We have learned some lessons, though, in terms of what happened in Dallas. We don't have a lot of margin for error. The procedures and protocols that are put in place must be followed. One of the things that we discussed today was how we can make sure that we're spreading the word across hospitals, clinics, any place where a patient might first come in contact with a medical worker, to make sure that they know what to look out for, and they're putting in place the protocols and following those protocols strictly. So we're going to be reaching out not only to governors and mayors and public health officials in states all across the country, but we want to continue to figure out how we can get the word out everywhere so that everybody understands exactly what is needed to be done. Meanwhile, at the federal level, we're constantly reviewing and evaluating the measures that we already have in place to see if there are additional improvements. We continue to look at any additional steps that can be taken to make sure that the American people are safe, which is our highest priority.
all right, people. Oh man, what's it? No, stop. Okay. Man, well, you heard POTUS, President of the United States. Listen, when they say not to worry, that's when I worry. Okay, for one, I don't know all the in-depth details on Ebola, but just the fact that it's over here is just scary. And it's in Texas. And we don't need to look at the population of Texas to understand that it's real people. Like, it's really real. And I think Ebola, I'm not too sure. I'm not the CDC. I think it can be spread. It has to be spread by fluids. But there's a couple things that concern me. Okay. Yes, it has to be spread by fluids, but we know that diseases can, depending on where they're at, they're just trying to survive. So what they do, I mean, they can mutate. Now, I'm not saying that it will mutate into an airborne, but I'm saying anything is possible. That's the way I look at it. That's just me, though. I'm not a doctor. Like I said, I don't, have any other insight on it, but it just scares me the fact that it's here. Okay, and it's in Texas, and it came by one man through, I don't know, I think it was Liberia or something like that. I'm not sure. Look that up. But anyways, when homeboy got here, they said he was affected by maybe 18 people. It turns out that he was in contact with 18 people. It turns out he was in contact with 80 people. So, I mean, if you do the numbers, 180, then 80 times, then each one of those 80 times 80 more people, then incrementally, I mean, you see how quick this thing can get busy. But they're like, no, hey, don't even worry about it. No, I'm concerned. I'm really I got family lives in Texas. I'm really concerned, though. I live in the Midwest, and anybody can catch an airplane to, Ohio, then bang, we got the same scenario going here, and they could have already done that. You know what I'm saying? Well, what they said is they got a hold of those 80 people, that they think he's come in contact with, and they pretty much put those people on house arrest. But when you're looking at something that can spread through fluids, doesn't have to necessarily come from humans. That's the way I look at it. You got dogs, cats, you got rats, you got other type of vehicles that this organism can use. And this is just my thoughts. Like, one of those 80 people could have a family of 10. Didn't even know. They didn't even know that this man had Ebola. And they weren't contacted by the CDC until maybe 5 days later. I'm saying this could be the scenario. But within that 5 days, they could have kissed, their kids. They could be a teacher and be go around, high school students and shake a lot of hands and, sweat glands and stuff along that line. Who knows, the food. I mean, I just don't know. I'm saying, when they say don't worry, I think you should. Because this disease has already killed some people recently. And there's a guy in I think he's in critical condition, but they're monitoring him to see if he's going to die. And, I hope to God he does not die, but I really hope they get this thing under control, because now it's like, what do we do? How do we, protect ourselves? You know what I'm saying? And this is my concern, because there are, 6 billion people on this earth? You know what I mean? I mean, this disease can go to any major city and wreak havoc. Just go nuts. If it gets in the water system, can it survive in, solubles? I mean, I don't know all of these answers, and you know what? I don't think they do either. I don't think they know everything they need to know, because they would have knocked this out. So, yeah. Anyway, it's your boy Tone 202, and that was your boy POTUS. And I'm really concerned, because the atmosphere I work in, I work around a lot of people. I have to come in contact with hundreds of people a day. That's my job. I work in the marketing field, and that's my job, is to talk to hundreds of people. And from saliva to, like I said, sweat glands to, I'm not shaking everybody's hands, but nonetheless, it's kind of like, I don't know, I might not want to do that now. I might have some gloves on and maybe shake their hand. I don't know. So, be aware. I ain't going to say be afraid, people. I'm going to say be aware, because it's real. It's real, and it's really killing people. And it's here. It's here, right here in the United States. It's alive, and it's well, and it can do damage. It's your boy Tone 202. Stay alert, stay alive.